Hello, party people. I hope you guys are all doing good, enjoying your morning, having a great morning, great week, great month. I hope February was kind to you. It was kind to me in strange ways, you know? I didn't get a red carpet or anything, little massage, pat on the back, but what I did get was a lot of opportunity for growth in the right directions. The opportunity to keep doing what you're doing the right way is one of the most rewarding things you can be given, like, as a student. But anyways, all that yap. I'm out here in a different location. Everything is changing right now, okay? And I think for once in a few years, I'm leaning into that. Beautiful little park right here. Decided to go to a different location. My little indoor video, outdoor video model. Both are greatly improving right now. I hope the wind gets along with me long enough for me to finish whatever tangent I'm about to go on. And as for inside, I've made some renovations to that, and I'm very proud of my new updated setup. So can't wait to start yapping in there. I think I'll do my longer videos inside more often than not, just for the sake of guaranteeing that as much of it is, listenable as possible. I love nature, but it's that time of year right now. Gotta rely on setups and stuff. I didn't have any real goal in mind discussing with you guys today. Just wanted to sit here and yap. That's really what an intermission is, Just letting you know I am hard at work on my next set of professional yap videos directed your way. I've got some water going on right now, hydrating myself. I don't know, I've been doing a lot of good productive stuff. I think I could insert a little story time right now. Anybody close to me has probably seen me quite out of character denying weed. I've been clean off of smoking, just having any of it in my system for at least the past 6 months. I really didn't have like a super professional reason behind cutting that out of my life. I just figured, hey, it was time. I think the easiest way to gauge, like, not everybody has like an on-the-nose type of addiction. Just notice what kind of arguments you make when you say, oh, why would I quit? That's a bit of a problematic argument to be making with yourself. That's problematic internal dialogue. Why would I quit? It's at the very least equivalent to, well, why did you start? Difficult questions, and which one sounds more outrageous to you depends on what stance you're currently taking. How would a little science guy put it? Oh yeah, a nigga in motion stays in motion. Basically. But yeah, anyway, I had accepted an edible from a coworker maybe a few days ago, right before the start of my weekend, and yeah, that was quite the experience. I'm really not the type to have, although I cut weed out of my life, I would never say weed was destructive to my way of life. It made me, and I came to remember this fact upon, the edible entering my system, but all it does is just grant me access to parts of my brain sooner than if I just stayed sober and tapped in to my natural gifts. I think everything, most plants we have access to with medicine and stuff like that, they're supplements at their best. And I'm no medical expert, but depending on your reason, that's all it is. It's a supplement. It's a prosthetic. until you can figure out how to care for and tend to yourself. It's meant to fill in gaps that we aren't naturally filling ourselves. Bring that up to say, I enjoyed my time off the edible, and it allowed me to reconnect with that part of my brain that usually takes me to be violently high to reach. However, I did receive my little reminder that all it's doing is giving me previews of levels I will someday attain by natural means, my own strength. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but I don't really consider myself a member of any one movement or practice or faith or whatever you want to call it. I use what works. That's what I was taught. That's how I learned. I use what's been taught. I use what works. And yeah, can't remember where I was going with that. I honestly smoked this morning. I'll let the train of thought come back to me. This is an absolutely beautiful park. I'm learning some cinematography right now, trying to figure out if I can flip this camera, which, yeah, I can't, whatever. But yeah, it allowed me to reach parts of my mind that, yeah, I otherwise I have to wait a little bit longer in order to access. And yeah, I had a revelation, or really just a specific train of thought I was fond of. Sometime last night, I was meditating for the first time. Well, not really for the first time, but that was the first time I ever made it not so complicated for myself. I just did it. I think that's what, weed gave me, like, an odd sense of sureness in myself. Like, I just do things. Versus, you know, me when I'm sober, I'm thinking about, the right methods. Like, the right method, quote unquote, is just what works, what created the effect, what's high vibrational. Accepting your role as an individual means accepting responsibility for your own personal tailor-made solutions to your problems. Yeah, I'm sure you could find the right application from somebody's recommendation that could help you. Like, hey, this worked for me, but at the end of the day, the problems you're not actively working to solve are just at the mercy of whoever gets to them first. And 9 times out of 10, that person is supposed to be you, which is why you have so many unchecked plot threads. They are waiting for you to address them. But anyway, the train of thought it brought me to: change. I have a very bad relationship with change. Like I mentioned before in the previous video, you know, featuring the wind and whatnot, quite like this one, I struggle with change. I feel like things are ripped away from me before I'm ready to give them up. Given what I've been learning, I think that's kind of par for the course. What you're scared to lose, you're more likely to lose, because somewhere on some level, it's a supplement for something that you are incapable of providing yourself. So yeah, most weaknesses are just that. But anyway, I was breathing in a way that I really wasn't used to, you know? Like I said, we just had me start stuff. I'm like, oh wow, you'd be surprised how much you know about a particular topic. Most of the time you only surprise yourself when you're trying to explain it to somebody else and you're surprised by how well you were able to articulate that thing. Like, oh wow, I didn't realize I was so familiar with this topic. But yeah, when you're able to articulate it to yourself, you're just remembering. That's all remembering is successfully articulating something to yourself. Possibly being surprised by how well you pulled that off, how well you remembered, how much you remembered. May not have even remembered that was information you had access to. But that's really how this whole life thing works. We're full of mysteries that once uncovered, oh wow, we're technically learning the past. We don't understand our past. How? We were there. That's the joy. That's what makes being an incomplete being fun. But yeah, anyway, I was breathing in a very strange way. I saw this ad on YouTube where this guy, he was explaining, the act of meditation. He was like, oh yeah, when you're getting that tingling feeling in your brain, yeah, that's the kundalini rising, which is, that's meditation rhetoric you eventually get familiar with once you start coming to an understanding, building a relationship with the science of meditation and stuff like that. Those are the kinds of terms you'll end up being familiar with, especially just on the spiritual path in general. You can't get very far in spiritual teaching of any category without hearing about chakras and chakra control. But anyway, I guess I was just trying to breathe in a way where I could actually feel a sensation moving up my spine. I didn't understand how to do that, but I lost the anxiety telling me that, oh, I really need to figure it out. No, I just tried. And one, that's a huge thing for me. I'm a young man with asthma. I don't know if y'all know that, but you probably don't know that. It's my job to tell you these things. I made that kind of comment because most of my audience right now is made up out of, my immediate friends and family. So yeah. If you're already familiar with the guy who's making these videos, you understand. I got my lungs half off. Okay. My breathing is trash. I've always been, like the sickly. I've always gone for the glass cannon build. Okay. I'm capable of a lot, but the slightest gust of wind just puts me right in an early grave. Undo that comment. We ain't seen no grave no time soon. But that's how you feel when you're dealing with asthma. Every mini crisis, every respiratory crisis feels like your final crisis. That's just what it's like to tango with asthma. But anyway, it was unique of me to be breathing in a very calculated, calm manner, is what I'm trying to say. I am known historically for being perpetually short of breath, is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, I was breathing like that, and I think one of my favorite thought activities to do, or one of my favorite, long-term metaphors, is just comparing things to breathing, relinquishing power, regaining power. That's how I would explain to somebody how to navigate trauma. There are some things you need to let go of. A lot of emotional progress is done by means of recognizing what situations call for you to relinquish control, aka freedom from anxiety, and what situations call for you to regain a sense of control, aka shedding victimhood, gaining your sense of agency. But yeah, I like comparing things to breath a lot. A lot of things are breathing can serve as a metaphor. Inhaling and exhaling, that act, that cycle can be used in a metaphorical sense to address many different things, many different themes in our life, spirituality and stuff. That's why people like air so much. That's why people crave the elements, because elements metaphorically apply to everything in our material world. See, I'm high right now, and I didn't know I was going to say it like that, That's nice. I didn't know I felt that way. See? I'm good without it, but I've been pretty good with it as of late. Just have to tell myself that it's not going to be... It's not the way for me to do things. There's my way, and whatever that looks like. Weed is triggering something in me. I'm not receiving the insights via the weed. The weed is just giving me a shortcut to tapping into secrets I already hold. that is what you must keep in mind anytime you're dealing with plant medicine. But yeah, inhaling and exhaling, a lot like change. I was thinking about how sometimes life just relocates you. Sometimes you found yourself in a very foreign situation, dealing with foreign emotions. When you build your world up, sometimes you lose that world. Sometimes it happens. I was gaining an understanding of my role and my value to myself, to my plot. I'm the only thing that I cannot go without, you know? And I struggle with codependency, so that's a thing you will rarely ever see me admitting. Well, at least beforehand. I've become conscious of it, so now I am in a place to actively work against that. But it's something I grew up struggling with, codependency. My own company was never enough. But I've lost many things. I've lost so many things that at that point in my life, that was something I couldn't go without. And I've lost that I can't go without this every single time up to this point. And that can directly refer to many things. Pets, people, places. I've lost many things I thought were what I was comprised of. And then I gained new things. See, that's where the codependency, that existential fear can kind of come in, because everybody wants that one thing. Oh, this completes me. This completes me. But many different things in life will give you that same release, that same response, that same feedback loop. You know, we just have sometimes we make things feel special on purpose so that we don't feel as lost. Oh, I found a great thing. I found a dime. You catch one shark and you never want to let it go because you think that's the last time you'll ever do something like that. When beforehand, you had no idea that something like that was even possible. So you've already kind of, we're constantly shedding what we thought was possible. And that's a lot of growth. A lot of growth is like that. Coming to a higher understanding, literally bursting out of the seams of how you originally perceived your universe, how you originally thought things work. Our material world. Science. Have a positive relationship with science. These were all things that were coming to me and occurring to me while I was sitting there, doing my little meditation, the first successful one, because I've never felt something like that. As a little kid, I tried meditating, but that was more just copying Raven from Teen Titans. Saw her doing her little stuff, it never worked. It never worked, I had to come at it from a mature angle. Wow, 20-minute interlude. Great heavens. Yapping, man. Yapping. But yeah, anyway, having a positive relationship with change. When you accept that life is about anything can happen in this life. Truly anything can happen in this life. And how we perceive those things, our relationship with those things and those experiences, that's just based off of how well we understand that relationship is inevitable. Change is the only thing that ever changes. Everything will always change, Things aren't eternal because they're multifaceted. You have an expiration date the second you choose to put all your eggs in one basket, because nothing stays the same. That's a hard thing for me to accept, which is why it's so mind-blowing when I'm actually on one accord with a concept like that. And I feel many people, especially within my circle, deal with the same kind of experience, which is why I'm making a point out of sharing this with you during this 20-minute interlude. When you accept that you're going to spend your entire life learning things, unlearning things, learning things, unlearning things, when you realize that's what life is, you're not sad about much anymore. So yeah, not only am I going to be meditating a lot more often because, wow. Well, that was something I should have been doing full time anyway. I think very hard. I have a constantly active brain, and I just convinced myself that I don't need to sit down and go to be thinking about crazy stuff. But at the same time, that's not really what meditation is. Yeah, well, think like now I understand the difference between, metaphorically speaking, we could say an entire room of people all just playing instruments, freeballing, an entire orchestra just freeballing, and everybody working on one accord. How dare I mistake my random mind rambles for the beautiful, organized meditation? How dare I? I will never get those two things mixed up ever again. But now that I understand the distinction between the two, yeah, it is up to me to make a more conscious effort to tap in, because, yeah, clearly I'm not sure what kind of things are going to be hitting me. So, yeah, more things to come, beautiful things to come. I'm fired up, and this is supposed to just be an interlude, baby. So, yeah, bright things to come. I can't wait to show you guys. Can't wait to show you guys some new thoughts. It's not what I was originally going to say. That's what I'm going to give you right now. That's what I chose to say instead. Y'all have a beautiful day. Look at this park, man. Gorgeous. 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 You people have a beautiful day. See you soon.